Well, good morning to you. Welcome to Up to the Minute. And most of all, it is the 11th of November. Happy Veterans Day to everyone out there, and especially all of our veterans. We appreciate your service and your dedication. And without you, we wouldn't be living in a free country. I think we can safely say that for all of our veterans. We have a special show for you today. Got a couple of special guests. Before we get to them, want to introduce Dr. Tony Reyes-Sutherland, my co-host. Tony, good morning to you. The looks like a front moved through. Bit rainy it was, and now it's a little bit cooler.
Yeah, it's kind of yucky looking outside, but it still has that Thanksgiving November feel to it. So I still feel like it's fall, so I like it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So fall version, what are we in? Version 4 now, I think, of our Houston Falls. Yeah, it'll be 90 again next week. Don't worry if you're missing that weather too. Hey, we've got some special guests on the show. We're going to get to them in just a few moments. We are on HCCTV nowadays. Thanks for those of you watching us live on Facebook and YouTube. We're here every morning at 10 a.m. every weekday live. But you can catch the rebroadcast at noon and 5 p.m. on HCCTV. Most importantly, though, look for us in social media as
Houston Community College District. See, I picked up my cue. That's the theater behind me, okay? Houston Community College District on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and follow us, and then you will get to see this show and so many others, actually.
Yep, that's exactly right. And make sure you subscribe to that YouTube channel because we will send you notifications when we post new shows. Okay, on with the show. Tony, you'll be interviewing this next guest. It's Thursday, Virtual Family Fun Day, and we've got Christina Tam. She's an Adult Services Programming Librarian with Fort Bend Libraries. Good morning, Christina. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're doing good. Thanks for being here this morning. I know you guys got a bit of an event coming up this weekend.
We do. We have the BookFest virtually online this Saturday, November 11th. It'll be going from 10 o'clock to 4 p.m. We have a lot planned.
Cool. Well, we're looking forward to hearing about all the things you offer and upcoming events. So stick around. We will check with you in about 10 minutes. Right now, though, we're going to start things off with our HCC guest, Dr. Danielle Stagg. She is the Division Chair of Speech, Communication, and American Sign Language, and she's here to talk about the PitchFest competition. Good morning, Danielle. How are you?
Hi, Todd. Good morning. I'm doing good.
Good to see you again. I know you have a title, and it seems like you're over a number of programs. Let's start with the speech program. Maybe you can tell us a bit about that.
Hey, yeah, it does sound like a huge title, but I am the chair of Speech and Communications, and our speech program focuses on speech communication classes. Our communications program is more so with mass media types of programs. And then, of course, our American Sign Language and Interpreting program, which deals with sign language and interpreting.
Yes, we had someone on, I believe, last week from the Interpretation American Sign Language program. But you guys have PitchFest coming up. It's a presentation about effective communication. Maybe you can tell us, first off, about an overview of effective communication. What does this involve?
I sure can. So effective communication is going to encompass the use of your voice and also the use of your body. So when you're delivering a pitch or when you're speaking to a group of people, you want to use things like your vocal variety, which is your pitch, your volume, your use of pauses. You also want to use natural gestures. And I want to emphasize natural gestures because oftentimes we'll see people make gestures and we want to emulate those gestures. However, you want to do gestures that are natural to you. So if you combine that vocal variety and the use of the body, you're able to achieve that effective delivery. And that's what we're trying to get our students to achieve when they're making their pitch presentations.
In the competition itself, is this PitchFest? What exactly is this? Maybe you can tell us, break it down to what it involves.
Okay, so the PitchFest this year is actually a collaboration with the HCC Speech and Communications Department, the HCC Office of Student Innovation and Entrepreneurship, the HCC Foundation, and also the University of St. Thomas. So right now, students are able to submit entries to be competitors in the competition. So what students are doing are they're thinking of social problems and how they can address these social problems through innovative techniques like products and services. So if students want to apply to participate in the competition, they have until November the 15th. That competition is going to be held at the University of St. Thomas campus on December the 4th. However, to help prepare our students for that competition, we have the Effective Delivery Seminar, which is going to be on November the 19th. And then also on November the 20th, we have one-on-one coaching for the students who will be finalists in the competition.
And I would imagine the students are going to get a chance to pitch something, but this is going to help them long-term when they get in their career, because it seems like one way or another, whether you're pitching a project or pitching to get a raise, you got to bring out the pitch and you got to make sure you're effective with your communication. So these are skills that our students would use in their future.
Correct. I mean, if you think about us on a daily basis, we have to communicate in some kind of way. And oftentimes that is a persuasive conversation. So if you go to Starbucks and you order your coffee, you're using your communication and you want to be an effective communicator. If you go to work and you want to persuade your customers to purchase a certain item, you have to use that pitch. You have to use that persuasive communication. So throughout your life, you'll be using communication and you want it to be effective.
What are some of the future programs you guys have on tap and events as well?
Well, the pandemic has kind of pushed us back a little bit, but in addition to the Effective Communication Seminar, we also offer a speech tournament for our speech students, and students come in and they deliver a 5 to 7 minute speech. And then we give scholarships to those that are placing in first, second, and third. We're hoping to do that in the spring, but it will just depend on how things are looking when we return on campus. But if not, we'll definitely be doing that in the fall. So we have that coming up.
Is there a location on our website where people can go to find out about your upcoming events and also get more information on PitchFest?
Of course. So for the PitchFest, if you go to hccs.edu/pitch, you'll be able to find the information about the pitch competition. And if you want general information about the speech, communication, and sign language program, if you go to the HCC website, programs and services, our website is located there.
We'll make it easy for you, folks, if you want to learn more about PitchFest and also the speech communications programs, American Sign Language. We'll put some links in our social media post as well. Danielle, sounds like you're nursing your voice right now. We appreciate your being here and soldiering through the segment, and we wish you the best of luck with PitchFest. We'll include some information on it in our social media post.
Okay, thank you. It was a pleasure sharing the information.
Thanks, Danielle. All right, we are going to move on to Tony, because Tony, it is Thursday, which is Virtual Family Fun Day, and you're going to take us out to the Fort Bend libraries.
Absolutely, Fort Bend. That's where I live. We have Christina Tam. She is Adult Services Programming Librarian for Fort Bend Libraries. Welcome to the show, Christina.
Thank you for having me.
Well, you have some very interesting things coming up. You have a BookFest, but it's a different kind of BookFest. Tell us a little bit about that. What is it? What's its mission? All that kind of stuff.
Yes. So Fort Bend County Libraries will be hosting its second virtual BookFest this Saturday, November 13th. BookFest is a festival that celebrates our local writers and encourages them to keep being creative. November being National Novel Writing Month, we are definitely wanting to support our budding writers and even our professional writers. And we want to get them prepared. So we're offering writing workshops. We're offering a sharing hours where we can celebrate each other's works. We've also invited a broad spectrum of published authors, independently published and diverse authors to help come share their wisdom with us and let us pick their brains.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we want to talk about these authors because they're very neat. I read some good bios about them, but also let's talk about the actual BookFest itself. Now, you've got things planned all during the day, starting at 10 and goes all the way during the day. What's the first thing that you got up there?
So the very first thing we're going to do is an author sharing event called Wake Up and Smell the Writing right off the bat. Writers of all kinds, whether amateur or pro, can share an excerpt of their work for us. And afterwards, we will toast them and their masterpiece with coffee or a hot beverage and finger snaps, of course. Anyone, all ages can participate. All the entries have to be family friendly. And there's more information if you register at our website.
Excellent. And then starting at noon for another hour, you've got something else, another kind of workshop. What is that?
So our staff member, Tabitha Voigt, will be hosting a writing workshop with us. And she is the head of our writing circle, the Story Spinners. So she's very experienced at this. She'll work us through several exercises to get our juices flowing, our writing pen itching. So bring your pencil and paper and your writing cap.
Good. And so I saw that you said something about 50,000 words in 30 days of November. What is all that about?
So that is the requirement for National Novel Writing Month. What happens during that month is a writer sits down November 1st and keeps writing all the way through November 30th and gets their 55,000 word count. And it doesn't matter if what they're writing makes sense or is so coherent, as long as they get it down. The idea of national writing, now the problem with writing is getting it down. And that's the whole point of November, is to get it out, get it down, get it finished. And so that's what we're hoping to accomplish.
To try to prevent writer's
block.
Thank you, writer's block.
Yeah.
Speaking of block, writer's block or talker's block. Anyways, okay. And then you have what you call a lunch hour. It's from 1 to 2. What do you have going there?
We'll be showcasing some of the YouTube programs that we have been making over the last year due to COVID. All of our in-person programs had to be moved virtually. So we'll have a lot of good programs on the YouTube channel already, and I'll be showcasing some of our highlights.
Excellent. So this is for youth, young adults, everybody.
Everybody.
Okay, very good. Now from 2 to 3 o'clock, you have some very special authors. They're local authors, they're Houston authors. And I think that that's so neat about having local authors that are successful there to talk to writers, because, sometimes you think it's far off. Oh, well, those guys, they live in New York or they live wherever, they got all that. But here, hey, I can't. But this is really good because they can talk to you about what you can do right here in your local area, how you can avoid obstacles, how you can be successful. Tell us a little bit about them.
So we were lucky to have Christy Jones return to speak to us about her authorship and her journey to becoming an author and how she markets. And we were also lucky to get Liara Tamani, who also lives in, like you said, they both live in Houston. There's actually a whole pool of authors who live in Houston who we just don't know about, and they live right next door. These two just happen to be able to share their time with us this weekend. Christy is independently published. She has published urban fantasy novels, The Corpse Goddess, and the romance novella, Valkyrie's Kiss. She's also written professionally for the University of North Texas and the Boys and Girls Club of America. And she's currently completing her World War II mystery because she wanted to change genres. And she publishes mostly on Amazon, whereas Liara has published through big houses. So we have two authors with different experiences. And she also holds an MFA in Vermont College of Fine Arts. Both of her books are young adult, and they're both award winning. And her books are also available in Fort Bend County libraries. So we're really, really glad to have them.
And the neat thing is you can ask them creative questions about how to do things, but also how do you make a living out of it? If you really want to make a living out of it, how do you do that?
Yes, exactly. And it's, from what I hear, it's very difficult. It's complex. There's a lot of obstacles to run around and to jump across. And hopefully that's what they'll be here to help us answer and to figure out on our own, because there's so many things that an author has to do to get published. If they independently publish, they have to do everything on their own. If an author chooses to get an agent, the agent helps some of the workload, but there's still plenty of decisions about where it's distributed, how much the books cost, illustrations, the size of the book, even paperback or hardback, how to do your social media, how to control that, just so many factors. So much more than just the writing.
Write your book first and then worry about the rest, right?
That's right. Yeah. That's what NaNoWriMo is all about, is just get it out so you can worry about the other 80% of the business that is publishing.
Excellent. Well, okay. And then from 3 to 4, you have your headliner, I think, Lisa C. Tell us about her.
So Lisa C. is what we call an established author. She's been writing for decades now. She has 20 dozens of books out, and a lot of them are award winning. And I especially wanted her because she writes about experiences outside of the usual American experience, and she researches it so deeply and in such detail that the realism in her fiction just blows my mind. She is a New York Times bestselling author, so we're very, very lucky that she has the time to spare. She has published The Tea Girl of Hummingbird Lane, Snowflower, and The Secret Fan, which I actually studied in college, Peony in Love, Shanghai Girls, China Dolls, and Dreams of Joy, which debuted at #1. She was also the recipient of the Golden Spike Award from the Chinese Historical Association of Southern California and the History Americas Award from the Chinese American Museum. She was also named National Woman of the Year by the Organization of Chinese American Women, and all her books, of course, are in our libraries, so you can check her out at any time. I think one of her books was turned into a movie, and I think that was Snowflower and The Secret Fan. So
yeah, she's very fascinating. Just learning about her biography, her mom was a writer too, I understand. And just being able, they always say when you write, to write about something you know about. And then you can go off and be as creative as you want, but know about what you're talking about, or what you're writing about. And so that's basically what she did. Is that not right?
Exactly. Her mother was a writer, and I think her grandfather was Chinese. That makes her 1/8 Chinese, but she grew up in San Francisco, surrounded by the, Chinese American culture. And she has done such deep research into Korean culture, into Chinese culture, which of course she knows best. And all her history is pretty factually accurate. So it's really, really great to read.
And she traveled all over these places. Whenever she wrote about something, she went to the area and learned about the native culture. Is that correct?
Yes, she did.
Yeah, so. I read about all that. I just thought that it's really neat. So anyway, what do students and our audience have to do to register? Do we have to register for the event, or what do we have to do?
You do. In order to get the live stream link, you'll have to register, and it'll be over WebEx, which is almost the same as Zoom. It's still a free client. You'll have to go to the website www.fortbend.lib.tx.us and then click on classes, and let me just make sure I got this, classes and events, and then click on virtual, the virtual calendar. So you'll find it there. Yeah. And then from there, you can register, make sure that you have an email address and some way to get Wi-Fi. This will not be at any of the libraries. It is all completely virtual. So if you show up to a library, you can probably still join us just from a computer.
Well, there you go. So either go to the library and join them on the computer there, or do it at home, whatever, and still get the enjoyment of all this. This is really neat. Well, we're going to have information about all this at the end of the show. We really appreciate you being on. This sounds so fascinating to me. I love to write on the side, but I do playwriting. But it's still writing, you know.
Exactly.
But this is novel month, right?
It is novel month, but we want to help writers of all types and formats. So you're welcome to come to our sharing hour.
Okay, well, thank you. Okay, well, Christina Tam, we really appreciate you being on the show. She is the Adult Services Programming Librarian for Fort Bend Libraries. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.
We're looking forward to all this.
All right. Thanks, Tony and Christina. Thanks for being here. Okay. On to our HCC news and announcements. As we mentioned, today is Veterans Day and it's Thank a Vet Day. Student Life is sponsoring this. So anyone you know, you can thank them for their service if they're a veteran, but there's still an opportunity at one campus to join Student Life to honor our brave military veterans by visiting the on-campus tables to write a thank you message to a soldier and receive a sweet treat. The Northline campus, noon today, Thursday, November the 11th. It's happening there. And also, we've got a big announcement we're making today, Tony.
Absolutely. HCC has been named America's best online college by Newsweek. And so that's a big thing. Newsweek has named HCC one of the top 32 non-universities named America's top online learning providers and among the top 150 of America's top online colleges, which included universities that offer online degree programs, including hybrid programs. So this is a huge honor. This is the first time Newsweek and Statista has recognized higher education in that regard for online learning. According to the U.S. Department of Education, 79% of U.S. colleges offer either standalone courses or entire online degree programs in 2019. And we offer standalone degrees also. Since the pandemic, the number of students enrolled exclusively in online programs is said to have jumped 93% from 2019 to 2020. So it is up and running, and HCC is right there in the middle of it.
That's right. Definitely some great news to bring on. Also, drama production, Anonymous and Everyman are happening. Drama department will present Anonymous, a modern day retelling of the Odyssey, set in America, though, about the refugee and immigrant experience. On the same day, there'll be a presentation of Everyman about salvation and a man's attempt to achieve it. 7:30 p.m., Monday, November 15th, Broadway on Demand. It's November 17th through 20th at the Visual Arts Center YouTube channel. You can check them out, watch the shows virtually. We'll have some information after the show in a link.
Yes, and just real quick, the Broadway on Demand, you have to sign up for it. It's $2.95, so it's really cheap. But then you get to watch you can watch the plays many times as you want and that kind of thing. But then the other one is free. It's with the Virtual Arts Center YouTube channel. So yeah, I just had to throw that in. It's strong thing.
Minor charge, but you get the chance to still watch it virtually.
Absolutely. Stress management, school and life, juggling act. That's always a juggling act. Learn to define stress and how it can affect you. HCC's counseling department will offer tips to staying mentally healthy with stress management techniques and self-care. Monday, November 15th, it's a WebEx at 11 a.m. and we'll give you information about that after the show.
I'm glad you have that in your notes because I don't have it in mine. So let's see. I've got FAFSA filing session on Zoom. You can join a virtual Zoom session with financial aid experts to get personalized assistance with your FAFSA application. Have your social security number, W-2, tax returns, bank records, all that stuff available. Join them 5 to 7 p.m. Wednesday, November 17th. That's next Wednesday on Zoom. For more information, we'll have that link in our social media post. And it's that time of year you can pick your favorite NFL team.
Absolutely. It's Rec Sports, Instagram. That's where you go. On Saturday, you pick your favorite NFL team. Then Sunday, you find out who won, and you can win. Just go to sports@hccs.edu, and we'll have more information about that after the show.
Yes, we will. Okay. Other things to talk about, registration for the spring. That's right. Can you believe it? Spring 2022. We're already talking about it. You can register now for the spring here at HCC. It's very easy. We've got 5 ways of learning. You can do online anytime, online on a schedule. We have hybrid classes, which are online and some in person. We have in-person classes. That's right. In-person classes. They started up again this semester on HCC campuses. They're very small classes, a lot smaller if you haven't been in them last 18 months, a lot smaller to follow CDC guidelines and practice social distancing. But you can sign up for those classes in order to get the class you want, the professor you want, the time you need in the campus. Make sure you sign up early because a lot of them do fill up fast. Go to hccs.edu/now for all your registration needs. And that wraps up today's show. Tomorrow, Tony, we've got Film Friday.
Absolutely. We've got Charles Dove, director of the Rice University Film Program and Rice Cinema. So that will be fun to be talking to him and see what they're doing over there.
Yes. And next week, we gear up for National Apprenticeship Week. We've, this week we did an episode of the topic on National Apprenticeship Week. Next week, we're going to be featuring it here on Up to the Minute. So there's a lot of things going on with the apprenticeship programs here at HCC. They've got a cybersecurity apprenticeship program. All types of things you'd never know of. So join us next week as we speak with our HCC apprentices, business, and also union partners. Okay, Tony, you'll be back tomorrow?
I'm not sure. I never know. I'll find out.
maybe not. One way or another, we'll be here live tomorrow right here at 10 a.m.
Okay.